What's up, everybody? This is Joseph R. Wheeler III, artist, founder, and president of the ONYXCON Foundation, back for another ONYXCON music special presentation. Today, we're talking about the West Coast Don. Ice Cube is back, y'all. His follow-up to Man Down is Man Up. And as you can see via the cover here, the man means business and he's got a lot to say. It's very symbolic. For most people, it's going to go right over their head that was a straight-up Gulliver's Travel reference, that cover. What is Gulliver's Travels? Well, we got to take you back into the book you didn't finish reading and you did the Cliff Notes for. Oh, that's just me? Yeah, back in high school when we used to have to read that. It's a 1726 satirical, politically based satire of English society, written by Swift, Jonathan Swift. The book definitely references societal ills and petty squabbles that people have, whether politically, socially, or otherwise. And if you know Cube's work, he's always dealing with that. So in this back cover for Man Up, you see Cube stomping with some signature Chucks on, signature South Central, gang-related, not necessarily banging, cat from around the way type vibe, and he's stomping over all of these little Lilliputians, which was the reference that is coming from Gulliver's Travels. There was a group of peoples that Gulliver Travels describes, the Lilliputians, and they are quite petty and always having the frustrated wars of modern society amongst each other, to the point that at some point they tie down the ship medic, which is who the book is written through, his perspective, and that's pretty much the basis of the character in the story. Is he's telling you his frustrations with and just interesting interactions with these symbolic groups of peoples per place they go. So I feel like Cube feels like Mandom is being tied down by this modern society, and he's frustrated like, nah, I'm gonna stand up, I'm gonna break loose these trusts that y'all put on me, and I'm gonna walk tall, I'm gonna stomp over all y'all fools, I'm gonna man up. And here's how you can man up if you feel the same way. That's what this album is pretty much saying to me. And I think that's what we're getting from the kid who, grew up in South Central, but was lucky to also be bused to a more affluent school system and have the benefits of understanding the world through other perspectives than even what was surrounding him when he was young. So he didn't keep a Lilliputian mindset. He could have a giant mindset. And that's what Cube is giving you in this album. He's stomping over it all, coming like the giant he is, as the legend he is, and speaking what he has to say about it through a typical Ice Cube way. Check it out.
You ever been in jail?
Me? Jail? No.
Fucker, put him on the right path. Teach him how to fight back. Teach him how to whoop some ass.
Okay, Man Up being the first track on here. I like the track. It's a good intro track. I think this is going to be the kind of thing that Cube can work with the Raider Nation, which he is an ambassador of, and do an edited version without all the cussing and stuff, still keep all the symbolism and other things he's actually talking about in the song. And this would be something that the Raiders would run out on in a game. I could literally see that.
You can't win, you can't get even, and you can't get out the game. In this land, you niggas shout it, but what you gonna do about it? You ain't about it, all you do is talk about it.
Yeah, I absolutely love this reference to what I think is a quote from The Wiz, the track that was sang when Michael Jackson's Scarecrow was dancing with the crows holding him down. I really like this joint, more or less. I think this is one of my top ones on the album, definite. Where this one falls short for me is excellent production all throughout, and it's super crystal clear, crispy, but it's so basic. It's just like one of those basic West Coast bops. I feel like I've heard this on 3, 4, 5 other modern Cube tracks, like the type of joints he comes out with periodically every now and then, where they have those videos, those music videos that aren't true music videos. They call them visuals nowadays, where it's literally like to put a compilation of all kind of imagery from other videos together with the track, and it's typically got some friends on it for some cameos, and it drops, and it just keeps the fans happy to hear his voice and know that Cube is doing stuff. You know, he in the studio, he working. That's cool, but it's like when I hear an album, honestly, I want memorable tracks. I want every single track to be like nothing I've ever heard from you and amazing. That's just, I'm spoiled on that. I've gotten that in the past from Cube and from other greats that I set the bar by, and that's what I want. But it happens a lot on this album, and I'm gonna break it down. Let's keep going.
Why is the internet not working?
Why are you not working?
Why? They hit me with that freedom. It don't cost you a penny to be dumb.
Okay, this intro is hilarious. And all through this album, shout out to the intros because he's pulling some major clips from movies and interviews and all kind of stuff. But I really like the message here of how there's a dumbing down of society from AI, from overuse of it, improper use, what's the word? Not responsible use, quite frankly. Like just always going to it and trusting every word of it when it makes mistakes. You know, definitely makes mistakes. I know I've been through that with ChatGPT and other things that I go to for AI and see what the results are, and I compare stuff. But I'm knowledgeable enough to know to compare. And he's making it clear in this track. Most people ain't doing that. They just go straight with whatever they hear. They love to get little tidbits and hearsay, and they call it fact, and then they go argue over it, and will literally die for some BS with their little attitudes. When you need to calm down, go get your facts right, and come back to the table if you really want to debate and have intellectual conversations about anything.
Yeah. Guess what? We are just laid in the cut. Looking at your ass like you sus. Asking is he them or is he us? Guess what? Guess what?
This right here is my shit. You understand me? This right here, guess what? This the baddest cut on the tracks. This the best of it all macking. I'm talking about nothing about it ever gonna be slacking. Guess what? Guess what? This the best of the album. This the best of the album. Go run tell that straight up. Like Q, man. I hope this review gets to your ears, brother. Respectfully so. I want you to know that right there is the best track on the album. Why? If he himself might feel like, well, I feel like I said more on this other song, but it ain't even just what you're saying, because it is what you're saying. It's like overall the theme of the album is included in this one song. It's like, I'm grown as hell. I've seen so much. I've started to understand some things may never change because people don't want them to change. Everything they complain about could change if they would just focus on these things, but they never gonna do it. So I'm just laying in the cut. I'm watching it, just don't bother me, because my whole thing is, you know who I am. You know I'm that G that'll get in your ass if you try. So just leave me alone, because we looking and analyzing everything, and sometimes we wondering, wait a minute, did we just see somebody who can relate? Or are you sus? Is it that BS? Guess what? And this is the analyzing that every older gentleman and lady does daily in trying to make it through life and understand, okay, who's out here for me, who's against me, who's potentially friend or foe, who's really about the agendas that I'm about so that we can move forward, or is it just more of the same old, here we go backwards again? When I roll the dice, what's going to be the results? And it's got the flavor of the slick, smooth street. I mean, that's a pimping ass beat, but it's still revolutionary, cunning, and tactical, and every other word I could put into it that to me says Cube as a whole, not just one category of Cube, but all of it is fly as hell, bro. That's that shit, Cube. Guess what?
A platoon. The girls' bathroom was like a saloon. Squabbles all year, September to June.
Okay, before hip hop, video-wise, very cool, very conceptual, very unique enough to be noticed and stand out, and I appreciate that, especially as a filmmaker. The track itself and what he's saying, flow is off the chain. It's typical slow and smooth Cube. Anybody can follow along. Anybody can get in their head. It's catchy as hell. Cube knows how to pick a single. He always gonna pick something that you would want to rap. When you hear it, you go, even if you tell yourself, I don't know if I like this, man, like 2 days later, I'm knowing some of the lyrics just because of the way he flows, right? But at the same time, I got to say this. I personally, this is just me, and I'm interpreting the album like anybody else going to interpret it. My issue with Before Hip Hop is, I think the problem is I already understand everything he's saying, so none of this is new to me. Yeah, I'm somebody who used to hear stories from my dad about how bad it was in the 60s with issues in high school when he was in school. Go to a party and it gets shot up and all this kind of craziness. And I'm listening to these stories like, well, damn, this sounds like the mess I'm dreading in going to college and getting into my party side of life and worried if I'm going to end up getting killed at a damn party just because I wanted to have a good time and talk to some girl. And he's telling me stories about stuff like that happened back in the 60s. So none of this is surprising to me, but I understand why he made a track like this, because you do have those people in the black community, in every community, who try to make it seem like back in the day it wasn't like this, things ain't crazy like it is. It was always crazy, and he's basically always had a thing, Cuba's always had those tracks he makes that are like, don't blame hip-hop for this. Don't blame hip-hop like the one he did about that. It's the same type of rhythm as that, it's the same formula, but I just think it's not, I don't know. I don't have a problem with the message. I think I got an issue with the timing. I don't think right now, because of what we're dealing with in this country, is the time to even pander to the ignorance of the few folks who are stuck on just talking about, ain't nothing worse than how it is now. Man, they're irrelevant. We need soldiers on the front line, mentally mostly, not even so much physically, mentally, to combat the ills of misinformation as a absolute whole, on bigger topics, than people trying to pretend like they don't remember that shit has always been bad, But at the same time, like I say, there are those who may need that track more than I need it. So I think from my perspective, it didn't hit that hard. And for it to be the first single, it was honestly a little lackluster when I was like, oh, damn. I'm biased as hell, as y'all already heard, but I think Guess What should have been the first track. That should have been the first single drop, seriously. It's like, yeah.
California dream. And let's have a good time. Sunshine, up to one time. Grapevine, drink some grapevine.
So this is what I call those safe tracks that every album has to have from wherever you're from. And this is a ode to Cali, cruising track, rolling down Pacific Coast Highway, going to your favorite restaurants in the hood, saying, hey, let's go by Simply Wholesome and get something to eat. Let's roll by, the mall, whatever, let's hit up some spots. Let's go to the beach. Let's go to a party tonight. Let's go play dominoes. Let's play some cards. Let's cut on some music in the living room and dance, clear the furniture out, and everybody have a good time. This is that. And I get it, and I love it for that. I ain't got nothing against it. I don't know. Maybe the sample is so overused as much as it's an absolute classic and it's always going to win. I just want something completely different and new. I'm sorry. I'm real biased about that at this point in life. I want fresh. I don't want leftovers. I don't want rewarmed freshness. It's still going to be fresh. Like I say, I do like it. How can I not like it? You cannot not like that sample. It's classic, Sending you forget-me-nots every time. It's going to always hit. To make it. Come on. It's going to win. It can't not win.
Knowledge is power. For you can be black as a crow, you can be white as snow, and if you don't know and ain't got no dough, you can't go, and that's for sure.
This one's for the OGs that feel like I feel. Yeah. Offs. I work smarter and harder. I heard a nigga say, what? Make money, drink water, and I'm doing that. Yeah. Always pursuing that. Dog really knew the cat.
Okay, so once again, you got a classic sample, George Clinton, Dog, it's in there, Atomic Dog up in this thing. You can't lose. You can't lose when you do that. It's West Coast certified every time. It's like remixing Bambaataa in Atlanta with some 808. It's gonna hit, but, and I'm not saying this don't hit because it does. They did a different new thing with it, and I appreciate that. So for that alone, and then the lyrics and what he's saying, I love it. And I love that he's making tracks for us, for everybody in their late 40s, into their 50s, into their 60s. This is our time. This is literally creating a new genre of unk rap, okay, from the male perspective. Unk and auntie, come on, bring the ladies in too. Unk and auntie rap.
If you over 35 and still rapping, keep rapping, my boy.
Act my age. Bitch told me to act my age. That's when I let his ass out the cage. This is for the black, white, brown, and beige.
Once again, I love it. It's all throughout the album. It's one of the major themes. You're going to respect the elders. You're going to respect the OGs. You're going to respect the older people. And this is one more of those tracks that's on that. And I love that intro with the sister who I'm not sure who that is, but I want to say it's Heather B. Please forgive me if that's not who it is. But whoever it is, I love what she had to say. It's like, it's precisely everything I'm saying. We are needed. The older generation is needed to come back and take the thrones that we built. Everything we built, they standing on. And these young folk don't know what the hell they doing with it. They just all about money. We got to bring respect back into it. Y'all know me how I talk about it all the time. Respect first, then power, then money. Money's always last in the equation. Respect is always first. Period. Period.
Date a bitch with a ratchet ass mouth. Sit your ass down, big booty to the side. She got a mouth like Too Short, breath like Newports. Her perfume smell like child support.
Okay, so here's this other part of every Ice Cube album. There's always a track he makes about women being ratchet, out of their place, disrespectful, what have you. This is a bop, first of all. Why this got to jam so damn hard? This is not something I can see myself playing every day, but every now and then, like, you know, you get some rude customer service from a woman at a register somewhere or something. You got some choice words for them, but you don't go there. You just get in your car and you play this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is that track, y'all. This is that track. And then what he's saying for telling young folk, like, do not get involved with no woman who ratchet as hell. But to be honest, here's the reality of that lyric. You got to not be lyric. You can't be ratchet yourself, because whatever you are, you attract. So if you on some ratchet shit, you going to keep attracting breath like Newport, bad attitude. They going to keep coming at you, because it's just birds of a feather flocking together. And I just feel like Cube, again, my biggest issue with him over the years, and has always been my issue, is I smell more intelligence than who he may surround himself with. I feel like Cube has always been head of his class, so to speak, and his peers who can't understand him, like a lot of greatest of great rappers, they're always like him. They're always the ones who, they're usually going to have a two-parent household. They're going to have an example of some form of real love and commitment to a relationship. And they're going to find that they'll be the ones who do get married like Cube, and has been married for years, raised a great young man and his other kids. But, you know, speaking of his son who's in the biz, acting and everything. But you can see how Cube has a wife. And it's obviously, no matter what he's saying in his lyrics, he go home. Now, I don't know what he do in his personal time or whatever he may do, whatever. But I'm going to just say, I just want folks to be more, I'm going to put it simple and plain. It's like what his homeboy said. And shout out to E40 for saying this. There was a track he had where he was saying something in the lyrics, and at one point he says, let me stop capping and tell y'all I'll be at home folding clothes with my wife or doing dishes, or something domestic with the wife. I love that lyric because it's reality. And it gives an example to these kids that don't have no examples, that, you know, I'm just full of shit for y'all just to give y'all some little slick stuff to say. But man, to be real, what's really important in life, get you some real people who love you and stick with that. Now, Cube is giving you the beginning of the equation. If all you got around you is some ratchet folk, he's like, get away from that, period. But how they gonna get away from that period if that's their whole environment and they ain't got enough money, resources, finances, mental stability, anything to find anything different? So we got to start pushing more solution into the music. And yes, I do feel like as artists, we got to take responsibility for our position in the equation and stop pretending you don't have the influence you do. We are the influencers before it was a word in social media. That's all I got to say about that. And it actually goes right into this next track.
You get back to the hotel and stay there.
I like it here.
Go on, get moving.
I said, I like it here.
Well, I can change that in a hurry.
Context, context, context. I don't like this intro because I don't know what movie it's from, but even just from the audio, I could tell this dude put his hands on that woman in that next scene. Again, don't even know the context, don't even know why or what reason or nothing. But I don't like that that's the intro to this.
Cause I'm drawing a blank. You're dead to me, fool. Starting to stink. Look at my shape, candy red like the paint. Bitches will faint at the sight of the saint. Trying to be him, but nigga, you can't. Respect my space.
Respect my space. Give me 6 feet. All that is in here. and it's from a anybody can get it perspective. It's kind of the type of track it is. The track is hidden, but again, just that intro really irks me a little bit because I'm just like, man, we ain't in a time where people are intelligent enough, and I don't know that they ever were, but especially now, to read between the lines of what you're doing artistically by juxtaposing that with the track. And then, I don't know. I could get real deep, but I'd have to have a whole nother video to break that down. I'll just say I did that right there, messed that track up for me. That intro messed the track up for me. It really did. Because we got a lot of stuff going on right now with domestic abuse, to the point where, do your research, they say that the gangs and the drugs and everything in Chicago, for example, are not the number one issue of criminal behavior. It's domestic issues between couples. So, do what you want with that. That's all I got to say about that. Let's keep going.
I'm about to teach you a lesson that incarceration at an early age, and my pops taught me that your pops should have probably taught you, young fella. Stop playing with grown men. You pretending to be tough, they pretending to be square. And just being ignorant and young don't make you invincible. Somebody will murder you out here.
Yeah, California dream. And let's have a good time. Sunshine, up to one time. Grapevine, drink some grape wine.
Okay, so I love this intro. I really do, and I love the track because this is again an easy sample to love because it's one of using them classic samples, man. You can't lose with a classic sample. And it's another one of those, let's go cruising through LA, California vibes. If you're in the West Coast, if you ever been to Cali, I have been to Cali many times. I got friends and family in LA. It's like a second home in its own right. And these are the kind of tracks I want to hear when I touch down on the airplane and get out the airport, get in my rental, get whoever picked me up, just put on that joint. Let me hear that. Let me hear that. Let me hear that other one. Let me hear this. I need to hear certain things to catch that Cali vibe. And this is that. This is what it gives you. But again, I love the lesson in that intro. And once again, it's a constant theme through the album. Y'all gonna respect your elders. Y'all are a young point. And it's mostly toward the young because we're in an epidemic with young generation not respecting older. And we know all the reasons why. We know all the lack of fatherhood, the lack of unclehood, mandomhood, just really people stepping up to the plate and raising these damn kids. So everybody's dealing with everybody else's problems in addition to their own most of the time. And Cube is addressing it, and I like that he's addressing it. I wish it went a little bit deeper. And again, my issue is that I wish the tracks were longer most of the time. All of my favorite tracks on this album are too damn short.
Stop playing with grown men.
The young fella, hand me that salt and pepper. Nobody do it better than that salt and pepper. She told the young heifer, give me that salt and pepper. Don't nothing get it wetter than that salt and pepper.
Yo, we got an anthem. Do you hear me? We got an anthem. All my salt and pepper kings out here, like myself, all the Silver Fox unks. This is our track. Like straight up, this is literally I cut the rug moment at every wedding reception, every house party, every barbecue. Cube is a genius for knowing black cultures enough to know, man, I got some stuff for y'all that's gonna always get me played in rotation. You better do it, Cube, man. This is the one right here. This is the one. Like I tell you, I was up dancing to this, but I said, wait a minute, is that what he talking about? Yeah, then that salt and pepper. You better believe it.
Master out the pasture, that's a disaster. Young guns, they think they much faster. I'm the blaster, turn you into Casper, fool.
Once again, respect your OG lyrics. Cube like, I'm the blaster, turn you into Casper. But they so goofy, they don't even know who Casper is, man. That just went right over their head, Cube. They don't even know what Casper is. And sadly, won't ever care because they don't want to research nothing that ain't happened from the time they were born forward. It's pretty pathetic, but that's the sad, sick situation. And it is sick. It truly is sick. It shows a lack of intelligence. It's the complete dumbing down. But it's there. He gave it to you. The lyrics is fly. I will say this about My Ego. Now, when it first came out, it's kind of like my feeling about the first single off this album. It wasn't, to me, the best song to put first. But it's catchy. It's jingly. It grew on me. I don't dislike it. I just don't really. It's not. If you ask me my favorite Cube songs of all time, that's gonna damn sure not be on the list. it's just not that amazing to me in that regard. It's not, it's just, like I said, it's super pop almost on purpose. I get it. Just, it's a first single. It's got to be something that everybody want to sing along to. Everybody know it's going to get played at a party. It can be played at the barbecue. I know what you're doing. I understand
Black
marketing.
isn't power. Knowledge is power. For you can be black as a crow, you can be white as snow, and if you don't know and ain't got no dough, you can't go, and that's for sure.
This one's for the OGs that feel like I feel. Yeah. Offs. I work smarter and harder. I heard a nigga say, what? Make money, drink water, and I'm doing that. Yeah. Always pursuing that.
Bottom line, y'all, more or less, we're going to get this album this. This is my official rating right here. And overall, I enjoyed the album, but it's hard. Every time I say album, I feel a little empty and not being honest. It's not really a full album to me. Even though there are 14 tracks, hell, you almost had to put together every 2 to 3 to make it the length of a normal song. And honestly, that just don't pass as an album. Also, theme-wise, I think some of the themes just get overstated in every song versus collected into one super powered song. Like, let that shit form like Voltron, man. Hit him in the head with the best of the best. Because every time Cube rhyme, he gonna come with some cleverness. It's just, some stuff is more clever than he may think it is. It's like, that's your best clever lyrics right there, bro. Yeah, that was prolific. This other thing was just, a little bit specific. Something they have him saying, ooh, okay, cool. But they gonna, I wonder if Cube really knows his demographics at this stage as far as music. He's got other wide-based variety. But, I talk to some young folks sometimes with some of the work I have to do, and I bring up some of these old-school artists on purpose to see, do y'all even know or care about anything that happened in our generation? And most of the time, yeah, they'll know the name. They can't help but know who Cube is because of his movie career, quite frankly. And Big 3 going to put him out there for sure. But as far as truly listening to his stuff, they're going to know the top 10. Like, whatever got played on the radio with the radio version, they may know. Somebody got in the car and made them listen to it one day with their auntie or uncle. But other than that, they just don't care. So I don't think you need to worry about them. I don't think you need to focus on them whatsoever. I don't think you need to be concerned if they think you're great or not. The only people that matter still is everybody in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. Hell, even 70s some, because my dad knows your music, thanks to me, But as far as true fandom, it's us, man. It's 60s, 50s, and 40s. We got you. We got you, bro. Every time you come out, this is the day after it released, and I'm doing this review because we appreciate you forever. You always going to be a legend. Ice Cube. Yay, yay.
Guess what? Guess what?